So I just come across something from work I've done years ago when I was doing video work as Man, Woman, Myth and putting it on YouTube. And it concerns business owners and the percentage of business owners who are women, and the complaints from women there have been about a lack of support for female entrepreneurs to explain why women are not as productive as men and are not running businesses as much as men. And I was thinking of the comparison that I made, and I'm not sure if I made it a very clear comparison, but the issue is that the prison population, for example, is vastly dominated by men. There are many more men in prison than there are women. And I'm thinking that this does not mean that there's discrimination against women in imprisonment. It's not a problem that there are more men in prison than women. It's a fact because men commit more crimes than women do. Men make themselves more eligible for prison than women, and that's why there are more men in prison than women. In other words, it's justified and there's a reason why it's like this. But women make the claim that there's discrimination going on to explain why there are not so many women running businesses or not so many women doing X, Y, or Z. Women make the claim that there's unfairness going on and discrimination against women to explain this disparity in numbers. But I don't think that that's valid. So if women want to claim that there's discrimination in employment or in business ownership because they're women, then they could make the same claim as regards to imprisonment. So would women say that it's unfair that not as many women are imprisoned as men? It's not right that there should be this disparity in imprisonment. And I think that's obviously quite ridiculous. Then in other words, there's a reason why more men are in prison than women. It's because men commit more crimes than women. In other words, men make themselves more eligible for imprisonment than women. And that's just how it is. And the same in business. Men make themselves more eligible for business ownership. And there are more men doing this stuff. And that's why there are more men running businesses. It's not because of unfairness towards women. It's because of the way things are. So in the same way as imprisonment works, that's how business ownership works. There are more men in prison than women because men deserve it, to be honest. And there are more men running businesses than women because men deserve it. It's simply the way it is. And I don't understand why women insist on making the claim that there's discrimination going on to explain disparity in business ownership, for example. And there are other areas where women claim that there's some unfairness towards women to explain this disparity in numbers. It isn't unfairness in the same way as imprisonment is different for valid reasons. So business ownership is different for valid reasons. I think this is fairly clear, and women need to see the lay of the land and be honest with themselves.